honor and privilege to welcome Mr. Narendra Goidani, our mentor for this evening's session on the spice of parenting. Yes, parenting is both an art and a science. And Mr. Narendra will throw light on how we can become better parents and help our children grow into good human beings mentally, emotionally, socially, and academically healthy, equipped to face the complexities of modern life. Mr. Narendra is an excellent orator, an advisor to TEDx Pune, and a mentor to thousands across the globe. I first heard him speaking during an All India ICSE Principals Conference in Chennai. His brief but inspiring talk left us energized and mesmerized. His never say die attitude, his optimism and positivity is infectious. I have had the good fortune of listening to him on a few other occasions too, and each time he has left me with a lump in my throat and a belief that there is a tunnel, a light at the end of the tunnel, and a belief that we have so much more to do to make a difference in the lives of those we touch. Mr. Narendra is not only the founder of Wow Parenting, but also the founder of Life School, an institution focused on inspiring individuals to follow their dreams and explore their potential. The third organization with which he is associated, the Keep Moving movement, is working closely with the pupils of grade 9, 10, 11, and 12, motivating and inspiring them to be confident individuals striving to eradicate fear and reach greater heights. I'm happy to inform you, parents, that this year we too have enrolled for the KMM program for our pupils of grade 9 and 10. Mr. Narendra has authored 15 books and pens down a weekly article, Life School Message, which has more than 40,000 subscribers spread across 44 countries of the globe. When he is not training, he loves to listen to music, read, and meet people. His wife is an artist, and they are blessed with 3 beautiful children. We are privileged to have you with us, Mr. Narendra, and look forward to another engaging session. The floor is all yours, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thanks for inviting me. Thanks for all the love. And thank you so much for this opportunity to be with parents. One of the things which I love the most is speaking with parents. And I'm so glad that I have more than 100 parents today who have come before time on a Sunday afternoon. And I promise to you, the 1 hour 15 minutes to 1 hour 30 minutes that we have together will pass very fast. And you will be glad that you came for this session. And this was not a waste of your Sunday afternoon. That much I can promise to you. To keep it engaging and not monologuous or one way, whenever I am speaking, and if you like something, or if you have a difference of opinion, or if you want to go into a little more detail, feel free to use the chat bot. And whenever you have a question that you wish to ask, either on the deliberation that we have today or any other aspect of parenting, please use the Q&A button which would be visible on your screen and post your questions there. I will be speaking for about 30 to 40 minutes, and then we will open it up for question answers. And let's say that the question answers would go for about 30-35 minutes, and that's how the evening will go. Parenting is a new concept. Parenting as an idea did not exist when we were children. For us, it was only providing which was necessary. The parents gave us food, they gave us those bare necessities which was required for a child to grow up, insignificant small pocket money sometimes, and they admitted us to the school which was nearest, somewhere close by. There were a lot of relatives at home. There was a bhua, there was a masi, there was a chacha, there was a mama. You remember those times when holidays would be like 1 month to your nani's house. Nowadays it's 3 days, 2 nights, and that too sometimes. So the time and situation in which we were brought up was very different compared to the times and situation today. That's why parenting as a concept did not exist when we were children, but parenting has become a very essential part of our life in today's time.
Mr. Naren, you're not audible.
I'm not audible? Okay. I am full over here. I'm full over here. Okay, I've come a little more closer to the mic.
I am able to hear you, Naren,
Okay.
quite clearly.
Okay, others, my darling parents, are you able to audible? Okay. So about some of them have said I am audible. So Ishita, I will continue.
I think there is some problem with my connection. I'll join from my mobile.
Okay, fair enough. Fair
You can
enough.
carry on.
Fair enough. Though I feel very connected with you, mobile connections now and then can become weak and sometimes it can be strong too. Since our childhood and in today's childhood, what is the difference? What has been the shifts? Let's divide the shift into two parts. One shift which has happened in families, and the other shift which has happened in education. Let me talk to you about three shifts which has happened in both the places. Today, more and more families are nuclear. In our childhood, nuclear families was number of nuclear families was almost insignificant. Today, technologically, we are very well connected, but human connections have become weaker. In our times, we would be close to a bhua, close to a mama, close to a chacha, close to an elder brother, close to a bhabi, and sometimes even close to our parents. Less than 11% children say today that they're close to their parents. Less than 11% believe that they are close to their parents. Now, this is a shift which has happened from the family's perspective. Second shift which has happened from the family's perspective is there is a shortage of time. When we were children, a Sunday holiday means Papa is at home full day. And he's not going anywhere. He's not distracted by anything. At worst, he'll see the movie for some time. In today's time, even when the parents are home, chances are they are very, very distracted into their work, into their social circle, and obviously in the social media that they have. And the third thing, there is a huge pressure on children to perform today. Now, if I ask you this question, if there is anybody here who's, let's say, 50 years plus, and you have children who are at school, maybe high school, when you were a child, you were in class 9, 10, 10th, what was the marks expected out of you? How much were you expected to score? Please feel free to use the chatbot and write down in the chatbot, when you were in school, what was the marks which was expected out of you? Chandramohan says about 70%, others are saying 75 to 80, 60 to 70, 30%, 60%. No expectation, just do well and be well behaved. Right? Today, what do you expect from children? Today, would we tell children, just be a good person, go to school, be sincere, have a lot of fun, and that's enough? Today, if a child comes and tells the parents, I've come first class, I've scored 65%, would that be enough? Today, what is the expectation? 90, 95, 97, 100%. Yeah, my younger daughter, Mehek, she scored 95% in her 12th exams. She wanted to take a BA psychology and she did not get the admission till the fourth or the final list was out. Imagine a child in 12th standard scoring 95%, but the uncertainty in BA psychology, I'm not even speaking about medical science, I'm not speaking about engineering, I'm not even speaking about commerce. BA psychology, FC college. She got through only in the final list, and that too as the second last person to get in, scraped through 95%. Imagine the pressure on the children. When we have to score 60%, what's the pressure? Do well, what's the pressure? Pass ho jao, what is the pressure? There is a carefree nature. We live our childhood. Today's children hardly get a chance to live their childhood. They have to perform. And not only perform in academics, they're expected to do well in dance, they're expected to do well in sports, they're expected to do well in various other co-curricular activities. Children are drowning in an ocean of expectations. Now, this is a change which has just happened in the parenting family domain. So, the way you and me were parented cannot be the way we can parent our children. The world was different, the expectations was different. Today, the world is different and the expectations are different. Education has also changed. Change is happening so fast in education. You know the worst thing about education and today's future? Education no more guarantees a great future. If you're working in one of the top companies in the world and you ask them, what is required for a great career in your organization? They wouldn't even say education. They will use words like collaboration. They will use words like innovation. They will use words like critical thinking. They will use words like communication. They will use words like ability to handle pressure. And off late, the latest in the last 2 years, they will use words like everybody has to be a lifelong learner for them to do well. You know, earlier, if somebody becomes a doctor, MBBS, they're pretty set for their life. Today, you become an MBBS, then you do an MD, then you do a super specialty, and by the time you complete all this, you're 40 years old. And then you have a stable career, maybe. So, education no longer guarantees a great future. Today, what is required is an extraordinary mindset. And unfortunately, neither families nor schools are equipped to deliver great mindset to their children. In the beginning today, Ishita was speaking about keep moving movement. I'll just take a few minutes to speak about what keep moving movement is. Then I'll come back to parenting. In 2001, we realized that we are moving very fast in a world where a certificate or a graduation or a degree or a qualification won't be enough for somebody to excel in life. They also need extraordinary mindset. They need to believe in themselves. They need to tell themselves great stories about possibilities of the future. They need to know how to develop relationships and network. They need to know how to get the best out of people who are unreasonable or people who might be a little selfish also. They need to learn the importance of preparing to win and not just playing the game. And unfortunately, because families and schools are not providing this, we decided to take it upon our shoulders to do that. So we launched this program called Keep Moving Movement, which means whatever happens, do not stop in life. Over there, we realize that while some children have a great future through studies because they are meant to study and excel, studies comes naturally to them. They love to study. In fact, parents might tell them, take a break, don't study so much, but they would still go ahead and study. Now, these people have a brilliant future through studies. But there are enough inside a classroom whose future is not through studies. One might become a musician. One might become a DJ. I have a student of mine whose name is Smita Bhalerao. She's a DJ. For one evening, she charges 60,000 rupees. She travels all over the world, and in the month of December, January, she makes more than 20 lakhs by playing across clubs and venues and get-togethers. Nobody cares what kind of a student she was, but she has a brilliant career as a as a DJ. She plays music. Those of you who want, check out this lady, Smita Bhalerao, a DJ. And she's set in life, earning about 40 lakhs per year, playing music. This is the truth of today. While some children will have a future through studies, there will be many, and let's make it into a 20%, 80% bracket. 80% children will not study and create a future. They will study to create a base, but their future will happen through many other vocations. In the classroom, we realized if these people have self-belief, they can become the best in the world in what they do. So we created a 7-session program, which last year we did in 250 schools across the country. Last year we trained about 40,000 children, and we do this completely free for all schools. The school is not charged 1 rupee, and the students are not charged 1 rupee. This year, this is the program which Ishita ma'am was saying our school is already also enrolled in for the first time ever. Now, with that to one side, let's come back to parenting. There are 5 pillars in parenting that we need to take care when we are grooming our children in times to come. Now I am moving into hardcore focused discussion on parenting. 5 pillars of parenting. We need to take care of these 5 aspects of parenting for us to groom our children well. Whether they are awkward in social behavior, whether they are very good in studies, whether they are children who find it difficult to concentrate and focus, irrespective of the nature and the capability of your children, if you can give them these 5 pillars, I can guarantee you that they will excel in their life. They will do much better than today what you're expecting them to do. What are these 5 pillars of parenting? Pillar number 1 is what we call as social intelligence. We call it as the spice of parenting. S stands for social intelligence. P stands for performance intelligence. I stands for identity intelligence. C for communication intelligence. And E for emotional intelligence. Let me take 5-7 minutes to explain each one of them. What is social intelligence? So much of life today happens around my ability to bond with people, my ability to get along with people, my ability to be liked by others. Even if we have a difference of opinion, can I behave and say it in a way where you accept what I say rather than straining the relationships through what I say? In other words, do I have the ability to bond with people? Do I have compassion in my heart? When I relate to people, can I feel what they're going through? Do I have empathy? Can I build friendships? Or am I a person, am I a child who says, I don't have a single friend and I find it very difficult to make friends? Social skill includes complications like, can I handle bullies and bullying? It includes a very critical area, which is, can I handle peer pressure? It also includes an area where I'm not able to get what I want and I know what I'm right. Do I know how to rebel and how to put my thoughts across. Social skills also includes, can I solve an issue which is happening between my friends? Am I the person? Am I the go-to person for social problem solving? Social skill also involves, when people meet me, do they feel warmth? I'm a person who believes there are no strangers in the world, only friends we haven't met yet. And therefore, when I speak with people, even if I'm speaking to them for the first time, I would use the word darling. And I will call all of you as darlings. I address you, I will say, hi, darling parents, how are you? The idea is, if we meet for the first time, let us connect and bond the first time. Let us feel that we can speak, we can chat, we can exchange thoughts, we can help each other, we can add value to each other's life. There is no need for tentativeness, there is no need for fear, there is no need to have a guard up about who might hurt me, which is what we call as having warmth. Where a child moves into a function or he goes to a program, he doesn't have any friends otherwise, but he says, I'll go there and make my friends now. Alternatively, an opposite, you would have experienced children saying, what will I do there? No friends of mine are coming there. Which means somewhere the child believes, I don't have social intelligence. I cannot make new friends. I cannot create connections. I cannot take the initiative and talk. Which means my world becomes very small. In today's world where there are nuclear families, where we don't have enough people inside the family to bond with, the world outside, the society in which we stay, the school to which we go, the children who are there in my class, maybe the children who are in the tuition class or the children who are there in my sports class, they become my extended family. Every child should be developed, should be coaxed, should be coached, should be mentored into developing social intelligence. The second intelligence that we need to develop in children is performance intelligence. What is performance intelligence? Very simple. My ability to perform to my potential is called performance intelligence. If I'm capable of scoring 80%, I should not score 65. In fact, if possible, let me scale 80 and make it 81 or 82. Now, this is performance intelligence. Haven't many of us heard this statement that इसमें capacity है, इसमें ताकत है, इसमें potential है, but he's not performing to his capacity. He performs below par. Why? Maybe he's not disciplined. Maybe the focus gets lost. Maybe the homework does not happen on time. Maybe there are distractions which is taking my entire potential not towards performance, but towards non-performance. Maybe I'm bad at planning. Maybe I don't know how to prepare for exams, and maybe even if I'm prepared, I don't know how to answer and perform on the worksheet. Maybe I don't know how to set my priorities. Maybe I don't know how to do time management. And finally, here is a very critical and sweet one. Maybe I don't know how to ask for help. Yeah, that's a big one. If I want to perform at my potential, often I won't be enough. I will need to ask for help. It can be going and asking to the teacher, ma'am, I could not understand this. Could you explain it to me properly, please? So many children hesitate big time in going to the teacher and asking. They're scared. What if the teacher minds? What if the teacher gets angry? What if the teacher scolds? And if she does that, what if others laugh at me? So many of us cannot go and even ask for help. Big things can happen in a very simple way. If I have the ability to ask for a genuine help, where help will help me to perform. If a child is coming first in class or scoring exceptionally well in maths, and I'm struggling, can I go to the child and say, you seem to be doing so well. If you don't mind, can you guide me a little because I'm not able to get these things? Talk talk to me about the style that you take or the preparation you make. And maybe from the current 60, 65 where I'm struggling, I'll also be able to go to 70, 75. And I'll thank you for the rest of my life for you helping me out. Maybe one child will not help me, but somebody would have scored 100, somebody else would have scored 100, somebody else would have scored 99. There are enough people who can help me. Can I go and ask for help? A big one, but a part of performance. So performance includes these two parts. One, setting my focus right and getting the skills. And two, going to people who can guide me and taking their guidance. So first part of great parenting would involve social skills, social intelligence. Second part of great parenting would involve performance intelligence. And the third part of great parenting would involve identity intelligence. Allow me to dwell for a little time on this third one, which is called identity intelligence. What do you mean by identity intelligence? Can I break my mental barriers? Or as a child, do I think, this is not my cup of tea? I can't do this, yaar. This is not my capability. I've tried, but I have failed. I don't think I'll be able to make it. So many children have these false stories that they tell themselves. Do they have capability? Yes. Do they believe in their capability? No. It's almost like they have 10 horsepower inside this bonnet, but they're using only 2. And then it creates a crisis. So how do I help my child to break their mental barriers? How do I fill my child with courage? The world belongs to people who have courage. The weak, they don't rule, they don't progress, they fall by the side. Courage, even if I fall, I bounce back and come back on my feet. How do I develop courage in my child? Would it be by a conversation? Would it be through exposure? Would it be by making them meet someone? Would it be by doing things together? Would it be by discussing life events? Various ways by which we can develop courage in our children. How do I develop courage? How do I help my child develop patience? If I believe things will happen, then I wait for the right quantity of time. If I'm anxious, oh my God, I don't know what's going to happen, I will always be unsure and a little scared of myself. So patience. Giving up should not be an option. How to develop that ability? How do I help my children in becoming good decision makers? How do I make them handle failures? Can I make them independent thinkers who are not just influenced by what they see and what others are doing? Where they don't say, why do you want to be a chartered accountant? Because my friends are also doing CA. Why do you want to be an engineer? My best friends are also doing engineering. Why should we go on a holiday to Switzerland? All my friends are going. How do I become an independent thinker? How do I leave my comfort zones? And how do I solve the problems of my life? All this forms the identity of a child. Then there is communication intelligence. How should I speak? How to have difficult conversations? How to listen to people? How to have meaningful conversations where the topic of discussion is not Justin Bieber and it is not chain smokers. Do you know there's a band called Chain Smokers and it's a favorite for these youngsters? But the topic of discussion is not what is happening with Alia Bhatt. But the topic of conversation is a little more meaningful. COVID-19 is there. How can we help the people who are old age in the society that we live? COVID-19 is there. The watchmen and the ayahs are staying in very bad physical conditions. They don't have so much hygiene. How is it that I can help them in these times and their children who are not going to school? Imagine friends coming together and having this discussion. Since anyway we are not going to school, shall we ask the housemaids and the watchmen to bring their children, where every day we will teach them? If their children are in the 5th standard and we are in the 9th and 10th standard, we can definitely teach them subjects. What should we do? When should we do it? Should we do it in the morning? Should we do it in the night? Should we do it out there? Should we do it at our home? These are meaningful conversations. How is it that children can have respect in their tone no matter what is the difference? My darling friends, communication would include you having conversation with children on important topics like physical abuse, molestation, and even sex. If there is an advertisement which is going on about sanitary napkins, can we talk to the children about what is this all about? Somebody asked me the other day, Naren, how would you talk? It's very simple. I'll tell them, babies get developed inside the womb of the mother. The womb of the mother has to be clean, fresh, and nourishing for the baby to get developed properly. The way we clean our house, and every day when we clean our house, there is some kachara, there is some dirt, there is some rubbish. Similarly, every 28 days, the womb of the mother is cleaned and nourished. And since we can't put water inside to clean it, God has created human body in such a way that the blood which is required to clean that after 28 days is then thrown out. And it comes out from the path from which we urinate. And since women nowadays have a lot to do, lot to work, and not enough help, they need to put this thing called the pad near the place from where they urinate, so that whenever the blood is coming out, and this is nature's way to ensure the lady has the capacity to bear a child, this pad observes that blood, which is a little dirty blood. It is of no use, and then it is thrown out. So it's an advertisement just for that. If I get a little scratch here, I put a band-aid, right? Similarly, to take care of that monthly outflow of blood, this is the pad which ensures that the girls and the ladies can still have a full life, do their work, have fun, go out with friends, not spoil the clothes, and don't get restricted to home for 3 days. Can I communicate this way with my children on the most complicated things on this planet and make it sound matter of fact and very, very simple? Can we understand each other's point of view? Now, all this is a part of communication intelligence. Finally, the 5th in the series of spice is emotional intelligence. What is emotional intelligence? How to manage anger. Have you seen how much angry children are nowadays? Kitna gussa aata hai? How to help them manage their anger? How to stop comparing themselves with others, which makes them feel low and sad? How to handle emotional hurt? What is love and how to love? Why not to give in to fear, and why not to lie because of fear? How to bounce back when we make a mistake? When somebody criticizes them, insults them, puts them down, how do I handle these scenarios? In our time, we had a mommy, a bhua, a bhabi, an elder brother, sister, where we can just go hug them and cry. And they will just pamper us to the moon and back. And we'll know how to deal with it and get out. But today, in nuclear families, parents have to play all this role. In Africa, there is a saying, it takes a village to raise a child. And today, the nuclear family has to play the role of a village. And in that, if I can take care of these 5, social intelligence, performance intelligence, identity intelligence, communication intelligence, and emotional intelligence, I will be doing good parenting to my children. Parenting is an exceptionally powerful tool. Parenting today is no more about somehow bringing up the children, giving them good education, and that's it. In today's connected world, in the digital era, when a parent wants, they can create extraordinary children. And I'm not speaking about performance and marks. I'm speaking about the impact of the child on this world, on their own lives. Have you heard of this lady called Ursula Burns? And I'm asking this question to parents here. Have you heard of this lady called Ursula Burns? Burns Burns. Anybody? Have you heard about? Yeah, I like this. Paritosh is so right when he says the CEO of Xerox. Thanks for saying that, Paritosh. She's a lady whom I admire no ends. Ursula was born in a very poor family. Some story says they have 6 siblings and some say there were 8 siblings. When she was 9 years old, she was a part of a very poor family where her father had left the family after the last child was born. Ursula Burns is a black woman, and her mother single handedly raised all the 6 plus children. Now, if you have been reading the newspapers about the West, you know what has happened. George Floyd, who was killed by a white policeman. And even today, the blacks in US do not have the kind of respect that they need. Black Lives Matter is a huge movement today. 40 years ago, in fact, this happened about 60 years ago, blacks were like untouchables. And at that point of time, husband is not there, single lady, earning enough for all the children and being a black was almost like you're back to the wall and there are no chances for you to do well. Yet Ursula Burns' mother was an exceptional lady. And I salute her for the way she parented the children. When Ursula Burns was 9 years old, one day she comes home very frustrated. And she throws her school bag to one corner, looks at her mother and says, "Why are we poor? Why did you give me birth? I hate you. Because of you, my life is miserable. I hate you, I hate you, I hate you." And she goes and throws herself in the small bed and she starts howling and crying. Now, this lady has just come back from the second job of the day. She used to have 2 jobs. She has to feed 8, 9 mouths. Her husband has left her a few years ago. And the child comes and says, "Because of you, I am miserable. I hate you." Can you imagine what the parent will be going through, what the mother is going through? However, she was not an ordinary woman. She allowed Ursula to cry for a little while and then said, "You're feeling very bad?" "I'm feeling very bad." "There must be a reason you're feeling very bad." "Yeah, everybody makes fun of me. They insult me." And she took out the box of crayons from her bag and said, "This is what you give to me. All crayons are broken. I have never taken a new box of crayon in this school ever. And all the children make fun of me and nobody wants to play with me. The clothes that I wear, I have never worn new clothes in my life. I am given handovers. The 3rd and the 4th handover comes to me. Why did you give me birth? I hate you." Ursula Burns, her mother understood why the child is so wild. This was a Friday, and every Saturday they used to have a meeting at home where everybody would get together, they'll have fun, they will just discuss, because that is the day mother and the children will get some quality time together. Mama looked at Ursula and said, "Okay, tomorrow we will solve this problem for you." She went back into cooking and cooked for the children. Next evening, this is how the conversation went. Ursula Burns' mother asks the children, "How many of you are frustrated at being poor?" All the children, including the 3-year-old younger child, raised their hands. She said, "Do you want to be rich?" All the children raised their hands. "Are you willing to work hard to become rich?" Some of them raised their hands. And Ursula Burns' mother then asks, "Tell me, how much money do you want to earn by which you think you will become rich?" Ursula Burns, whose heart was the most hurt at that point of time, immediately said, $1 million. Mama said, "That's a good number to have. But my child, why 1 million?" And the child says, "That's the biggest number I know." And then the mother says, 1 million is a good number to have. When you have $1 million, how do you think your life will change? And Ursula Burns says, "I will wear new clothes. I will buy new boxes of crayons. I can eat what I want. I can eat where I want. I don't have to wait for Christmas for me to have good food. That's why I want $1 million." The child's mind, 9-year-old child. Mama smiles and says, "Do you think if you are poor, you cannot be happy?" "Yes." "Do you think if you are rich, you will be very happy?" "Yes." And Mama says, that gentleman who owns your school, do you think he is rich?" "Yeah, he is rich because he has a car, his wife has a car." "Have you seen the two of them fight?" "Oh, they fight a lot." And then Mama says, which means not necessarily when you become rich, you will also be happy. Do you know that uncle who comes to sell candies? He is also poor. Do you see him singing songs? Is he happy? Yeah. Which means if you decide, even if you're poor, you can still be happy. Yeah, when you're rich, you will have new clothes, you will have new boxes of crayons, but you don't have to be rich and then be happy. We can sing and dance and be happy right now. And then the small conversation that happened. Every time I say it, it reinforces to me the role I and wow parenting has to play on this planet. She looks at Ursula Burns and says, "My child, go on to earn that $1 million. I will feel good if you earn $1 million. But you know when I will be proud of you? I will be proud of you if you can bring 1 million people out from poverty when you are not the only person who has brought herself out of poverty." See, as I say it, I have goosebumps all over my body. She tells Ursula Burns, I will feel good if you earn that $1 million. But I will be proud of you if you can bring 1 million people out from poverty. If you believe poverty is painful, and if you are the only person who's brought out of by poverty by you, then it's nice. But if you can bring 1 million people out from poverty, I will be proud of you. Which means I will not be proud of you if you earn $1 million. I'll be proud of you if you can bring 1 million people out from poverty. As she was working in Xerox and as she was progressing, in an interview meeting, she was insisting on a smaller size machine. Those days, Xerox copiers used to be big machines with big corporates will buy. Like a General Electric will buy, a Microsoft will buy, an Intel will buy, NASA will buy, US government will buy, but normal businessmen won't be able to buy. And Ursula Burns says, we have to bring a smaller thing. And when she was asked why, she said, one, small business is needed. Two, she said, this is a huge business prospect. There can be in every street of America a person sitting with this machine with only one table and a plug connection, and he can become a businessman. A student will need it, a housewife will need it, a few copies has to be Xeroxed. They can't go to big and they can't do copying by themselves. This machine can transform the life of uneducated men and make them businessmen. They will not go into crime. They will respect themselves. You don't need education to make a Xerox machine work. A few hours of training and you're ready to be a businessman. People killed her idea. They said it's not going to work. We know how to deal with big companies. We don't know how to work with small companies, and we definitely don't want to sell one machine at a time. Who will come to these roadside vendors and get Xerox done? She persisted and she insisted that machine being made. Today, have you seen these Xerox shops? Have you seen these young boys and girls? One table, a few blank sheets of paper, one connection, and they are businessmen now. Ursula Burns got 6.7 million people out from poverty by making 6.7 million businessmen, and made the mother supremely proud of her. This is the power of parenting. This is what is social intelligence, performance intelligence, identity intelligence. My child, see yourself as somebody who can bring 1 million people out from poverty. Don't think you have to bring yourself out of poverty. What is the identity that the mother gave to her? How did she communicate? How did she handle the emotions? How did she teach her not to give up and have social connections, where a black woman goes on to become the CEO of a very famous company called Xerox? Not many black women have risen to the top because not many people had Ursula Burns as mother. This is the power of parenting. And the inspiration for people like me is the mother of Ursula Burns. And my appeal to each one of us, parenting is not just providing things to your children, investing some money on their education, sending them to classes, giving them an Xbox to play, and hoping that they will get a good job or they will take over your business. Parenting is about the possibility of making your children create a revolution that the world needs for the world to be what it is supposed to be. And APJ Abdul Kalam is born in a village of 5,000 people, goes on to become the president of this country. And when they're asked, how did you do this? He says, my father always said, live the way others feel proud of you. You will never go wrong in life. What parenting is. He didn't get too many luxuries in life, but he got what was required to become the most loved president of our country. In a structured way, we call it as the spice of parenting. Social intelligence, performance intelligence, identity intelligence, communication intelligence, and emotional intelligence. With this, I complete what I had to say, and I open myself to questions that you might have, which you want to ask to me. Thank you so much. Ishita, over to you.
A couple of questions here. How to remove fear from children's mind? That's question number one. Shall I tell you all the questions, or do you want one at a time?
I'll take one at a time so
Sure.
that I don't muddle up the questions.
Sure.
Fear is something which only goes a little at a time. Fear will not go with one conversation. It has to be taken away a step at a time. Let's say, for example, the child is scared of dogs. Now you can't tell the child, "Arey, the dog is friendly. See how the dog is playing with somebody." The child will still think, "But what if it bites me?" So what to do? Go and pet that dog and let the child be just in that place. Next step, as you are petting the dog, let the child just touch your body. Next step, as you are petting the dog, let the child just touch your arm. Next step, as you are petting the dog, let the child touch your hand. And then, maybe as your hand is on the dog, your child's hand is on top of your hand. And then one day, I'm there just next to you, you can still pet the dog. And the moment you feel uncomfortable, I'll take you inside. Fear always goes a bit at a time. And in that time, if I give these small breaks and meaningful exposure, over a period of the child overcomes one fear. When the child overcomes one fear, the child knows it can overcome all the other fears also. So when you have to remove fear from the mind of your child, you have to be patient. You have to be involved. And you have to take it step by step, in which you will need patience. Ishita?
Now the parent is saying that the parents do not pressurize the child to score marks, but the child still lacks focus, and the parent is worried that in the competitive world, how do we motivate the child to achieve without being stressed? How do we handle the situation?
First, take the fear of future away. Look at what are the distractions for the child. Sit with the child. Have a conversation with the child. If the child is able to focus for, let's say, 20 minutes, ask the child, what do you think will be required for you to focus for 30 minutes? And what help do you need from mama, or what help do you need from papa? This method has worked brilliantly well for thousands of parents. So part one, we need to bring our focus up a little. In that, tell me, how can I help you? The moment you offer yourself as an assistant to the child and you're not demanding something from the child starts cooperating a little more. The moment the child finds that from 20 minutes I am able to focus till 30 minutes, the child grows in their own eyes and they believe they can improve. Once they reach 30 minutes, they can say, "Mama, I don't need you now." And in the same technique, move it to 40 minutes. For a very detailed answer, which has many possible, let's say, techniques, I would request you to download my app called Wow Parenting. Wow Parenting is India's #2 parenting app. We are #1 by Google in 6 different parameters. It has more than 250 videos. Each video has a solution to one parenting crisis. Over there is this bucket called performance. When you go to performance, there you will find these videos, and one of the videos over there is how to develop focus, which discusses about many techniques. So since we have limited time here, I'm giving you a very small insight. You want greater details, it will be a good idea to download the app.
Okay, the next question is from a parent of a 3-year-old who says that the child has understood that if the child cries, each time he or she wants something and the parents give in, she cries louder. And she has now learned the trick that if I want something, I need to cry loud. So how should we deal with it?
Okay. How are animals trained? In the circus, we have been able to train to make a lion jump through a ball of fire. And from movies, you would have seen lions are scared of fire. Yet a human has been able to train a lion to jump through that ring of fire. Now, obviously, you can't even talk to the lion. Huh? You can't even threaten the lion. Hey, if you don't jump, see what I do to you. You can't tell them. And yet the lion is trained. What do they do? Any negative behavior of the lion is completely ignored. And every positive behavior of the lion is reinforced. In psychology, there is a belief called a behavior recognized and rewarded will be repeated. Which means when the child is throwing tantrums, there are two things that you can do. One, just ignore the tantrum. If you think it's a technique that they are using, ignore the tantrum. Let the child come to you properly. If not, the child comes to you crying, say, you can complete your crying, and whenever your crying is done, ask me properly, we will discuss. If the child has learned that it can cry and get things done, the child will also learn when I cry, I don't get what I want. But there you have to be a little patient. And when the child is crying, you continue to have fun, you continue to do things. In other words, you remain undisturbed when the child is crying. So this is when you know the child is using the technique of crying. When the child is actually going through pain and it is crying, it is time for you to listen to the child. There you don't ignore the child. There you ask the child, something is bothering you? Would you like to talk with mama about it? Let me know what is bothering you, we will discuss. Allow the child to talk. When the child talks, the bonding also happens. After the child has spoken, the clouds of emotions have dispersed, and when you speak, the child will also be able to see the sun. So when it is a technique, ignore it, remain unaffected. When it is a pain the child is having, help them to deal with the pain and then have communication with the child. But do not give in to the empty tears of the child. It will make things worse in times to come. Ishita?
Okay, the next question is, the child is an extrovert, does well, grasps everything. Would it be right on the parent side to ask the child to hold back so that the child does not feel burnt out and exhausted?
Your child has an extraordinary capability, and that is of being an extrovert. Which means, in all possibility, tomorrow your child will be able to be a leader. Which means they can bond well, which means they can be very comfortable with the spotlight. Nurture this quality. Do not hold this quality back. Many parents have the opposite question. My child is shy, how do I make him an extrovert?
Sorry, I'm interrupting. That was the next question another parent has written. How to groom an introvert child?
Okay, I'll come to that. So you see that question, many parents have this as a question that my child is shy, how do I groom the child? For you have an advantage. For some reason, God has blessed you. So nurture the child. However, there is only one warning light over here. Let's ensure the child does not get carried away by the adulation that the child gets from the world. Let's ensure the child stays humble and the success does not go inside their head. Your job is that. Your job is not to put the brakes, but your job is to show the child a mirror about what might go wrong and make it careful. Ishita, can I move to the next question?
Yes, please. This is very pertinent to today's situation. How should we handle a kid during the lockdown as there is no outing for them and sometimes they feel puzzled?
Okay. Now, before I go to that, I will answer the question about the shy child,
Sure.
introvert. Susan Cain is an amazing author who's written a beautiful book on the power of introverts, where she says being an introvert is not a disadvantage, it can be an extraordinary advantage. An extrovert child will have a lot of friends, a lot of invitations, a lot of birthday parties to attend. An introvert child won't be invited so often. So they will have a lot of time to focus on things which are important or necessary. Now, when the child is shy, an introvert, it's absolutely okay. You need not make them an extrovert. But if the child is scared of people speaking to others, then it's an issue. So there are two different things. Being shy is okay, being scared is not okay. So the child is just comfortable in their own world, perfectly okay. In fact, all artists are shy people. All scientists are shy people. All philosophers are shy people. So if your child is also shy, he's in good company. One of those Indian philanthropists that I respect a lot is Azim Premji of Wipro Limited. And he's very shy. In fact, you won't see a family photograph of his. But one of the biggest philanthropists in our country has donated 40,000 crores worth of his personal wealth. Now, if my child is shy and if he grows up to have the heart of Azim Premji and the wealth of Azim Premji, I don't mind. So don't see the shyness of your child as a disadvantage. See it as an advantage. There are two different kinds. Extrovert has their own advantage, shy child has their own advantage. One is not better than the other. Both can become champions. Now, coming to what to do with children during the lockdown. Right, Ishita, that was the question?
Yes.
Now, first see the lockdown as a blessing. Now, what happens, why parents have a little confusion is, they are not used to having children for so much time. And suddenly when they have children for so much time, either they find their life also getting bind down. And the children are also around. There are so many things that you can do with children. One, train them in the chores of the house. Depending on the age of the child, every child should participate in a very big way in doing work at home. Give children at least 1 to 2 hours of work at home. So let's say if your child is 3 years old, their job can be to just wash the vegetables and put it from one place to the other. They don't have to do anything else. घर में पालक है, गाजर है, चलो पानी में डालो, निकालो और मम्मी को दो. Let them feel responsible and participate in work at home. The children are, let's say, in the 8th standard, 9th standard, 10th standard. Teach them cooking. Teach them cleaning of the whole house. Teach them how to press the clothes. Give them chores for at least 1.5, 2 hours. And I'm telling you, if you give the children 1.5, 2 hours chores, no, they will not come to you in the time that they have. You don't have to bother about how to occupy them. Second, read some good books along with them. Now, this is my favorite. Pick up any book and ask the children, let's read it together. Or tell the children, what book would you like to read? Let me also read it along with you. Fix the time. They read it, let's say, from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the evening. You read it from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock in the evening. And the breakfast table is the time when you discuss what you have read. There are guys called Dan Heath and Chip Heath who write a book on how to change when change is difficult. Now, my younger one, who's doing BA Psychology through FC College in Pune, and me are reading the same book. So every day, she comes and tells me, Papa, this is what I read. What are your thoughts on it? And I will say, this is what I understood. Now, these are my doubts. What are your thoughts on it? And what it means, it is relevant to our life. Is there areas where we find it difficult to change, even when we know we should change? For example, all people know that we should be fit and we should take care of our health. But if we don't do it, what is happening in our mind? I mean, why are we not able to do it? Smartest of people, doctors, postgraduates, double doctorates, and not taking care of their health. I mean, smartness is not absent. What is happening inside the mind? And then we have a conversation around this. The whole house is buzzing with life. With my elder one, who's not fond of reading books per se, but she loves music. And a few days back, I shared one piece of music with her. And I said, this music is bound to touch you. Tell me, how do you feel at the end of that music? And for the last 3 days, she's been listening to that music and crying overwhelmingly. And saying, when I listen to that music, I feel so close to the divine. And we are discussing music together. Find things to do together. And through those discussions, we can talk to each other about how to live life. So if you do just these two things, work for home, contribute to home, and find something to do together, the rest of the children will manage. Ishita?
Yeah, can I club two questions?
Yes, please.
Of course, it's a little opposite. One is how to deal with an aggressive child. And the second is the child is scared to ask questions in the class. So two contrasting characters, so how to deal with it.
Yes, beautiful. In fact, both are very relevant and very beautiful. Aggression is what you see on the surface. You don't deal with aggression directly ever. Dealing with aggression directly is like attempting to take a beach ball which is filled with air, putting it inside water and hoping that it will stay inside water. The moment you take the pressure off, the beach ball is going to come back bouncing on the surface. So you and me cannot deal with aggression directly. You have to find out what is the cause. Is the child carrying some hurt? Is the child feeling lonely? Is the child feeling pushed? Is the child feeling judged? Is the child feeling nobody understands them? Is the child feeling exploited? The child is carrying some hurt in their heart, which makes them aggressive. And this will work not only with children, but also with adults. The moment you come across somebody who is aggressive, ask them this question: is there something which is disturbing you? And I'm telling you, you will get blown away by the impact this question has. In different ways, you can also ask, what is disturbing you? You can also ask, have I done something that has disturbed you? But the idea of that question is, I'm willing to listen to what is disturbing you. What is aggression? There is an issue, there is a situation, and you and me are on opposite sides. We are on opposite sides. That is when aggression happens. I think it will never happen, but let's say me and Ishita have a difference of opinion. Either she will become aggressive or I'll become aggressive, which means what we are thinking is you and me are against each other. The base of aggression is two people are in opposite camps. And for aggression to end, the person who's aggressive has to believe both of us are on the same side. When you and me are on the same side, why will I be aggressive with you? So the moment I ask this question, is something disturbing you? Have I done something to disturb you? And if I have done something to disturb you, I will say sorry and I would like to make amends. Now we are not on opposite sides anymore, we are on the same side. So shift to the same side. Don't attempt to subdue aggression. Don't be angry, will never take anger away. Find what is the dead rat, what is the stinking thing. Deal with that, and you will be able to deal with aggression. Again, it's a very, very big topic. You go to Wow Parenting, download the app, and you will find over there many videos on how do I handle anger in children. But for the time being, since you asked that question, this thing will definitely work for you. Question about disturbance. Ishita, the other question was about the child is scared, right?
Correct. Scared to ask questions in the class.
Because the child feels judged. The child feels vulnerable. The child believes they are not good enough. The child believes people are going to laugh at them. Begin by the child asking questions at home. Encourage the child asking questions at home. Validate them when the child is asking questions at home. Whatever be the question of the child, don't say, "What a stupid question. How can you be so dumb? You can't even understand this." No, don't say that. Whatever be the. See, doubts and questions are never silly and they are never stupid. Somebody is not understood, they want clarity. Now, that's a very smart thing to do. So, when we do training programs and somebody asks questions, I always tell them, any person who has the ability to ask questions seeking clarity is a smart person inside the room. Obviously, the question an Einstein will ask and the question which a child will ask will have two different qualities. But every question is genuine. So, inculcate in your child the ability to ask questions, first to begin with, in very comfortable, safe environment, which is between the mother and the father. Slowly and steadily, a little outside the comfort zone, over a period of time, the child will develop the courage to ask the right teacher the questions. Having said that as a disclaimer, unfortunately, there are teachers who are very rude with children. There are teachers who put the children down when the child asks a question. We get this from children themselves, that when I ask Miss a question, Miss says, "How dumb you are, you could not understand this." And everybody else in the class laughs at that child, and nobody wants to be a part of a laughing stock. So with these kind of teachers, if the child is not able to ask the question, it is absolutely okay. Let them preserve their self-esteem. But with others who are open-minded, develop in child the ability to ask questions by exposing them to comfort zones, especially parents. Ishita?
Next question. Very interesting. Sometimes grandparents and the mother and father have different perspective of raising the child.
Absolutely.
How do we solve this so that the child does not get conflicting messages?
It's a very difficult situation, and it is often a communication gap. What has worked for many parents is the man of the house, which means the father, he calls for a meeting and he leads the discussion. The mother may not be the ideal person unless the mother has brilliant relationship with her in-laws. In case the relationship is neutral or just social and it's not intimate, then it is the father who has to initiate this conversation. And the question over there is about the purpose. For example, let it be like, I want the child to have healthy eating habits. And let's say the grandparents buy chocolates and give to the child. So now it's not about don't do this or do this. The question is about, we want the children to have healthy eating habits. When we were small, you have given us this ghee, this laddu, this, as a result of which our health is good. Now today, what do you think should we avoid? And what are the things you think we should give to the child? Let it be an open question and let the grandparents answer, okay, this should be given, this should be given. And if there is a difference of opinion, say, I have a small doubt over here, and we need to clarify this. If this is what is the thinking, then how do you think we should do it? If the father drives the conversation, it's difficult for the parents to get very, very upset and angry. Drives the conversation, it might become a personal issue. So my suggestion is let the father drive this conversation by involving the in-laws. Let's understand, even if we have to drive this conversation 3 times, 5 times, 10 times, before we can convert or change them, it is worth the effort. Even if it takes 6 months for change to happen, it's worth the effort. Don't think one conversation will make a difference. You might need many. And let the right person drive the conversation. Let the wrong person not drive the conversation. Ishita?
Next question. How do we help a child face a bully in the school and also children in the gardens and playgrounds who abuse?
Again, a very, very real situation. Again, it has been dealt with in great details in our app. But again, I will give you some pointers which will help you. First, teach the child not to be alone. Bullies normally pick up children who are alone. Bullies do not pick up children who are in a group. So the safest and the best thing is avoid those children when you are alone and be with those children when you are in a group. 2, if there are some bullies out there, the same question to them, is something disturbing you? Did my son do something which has offended you? If yes, let me talk to my child. If no, can you become his best friend? You seem to be a strong person. Can you take care of my child? If you can make the bully the mentor, if you make the bully feel like the elder brother, a lot of parents have found solutions to this approach, where now the child feels that I am in charge by protecting the other child rather than feeling charged by dominating the other child. Now, this means you need to have a sweet voice, you need to have a respectful voice. You don't want a fight to happen, you don't want to teach that bully a lesson. So, if you can take this approach, for many parents, this approach has also worked. So, as of now, I'll give you these 2 things which has worked. Tell your child not to be alone and have a conversation with the bully. Speak to the good inside that person. Make that bully the friend of your child. There are a few other things that you can do. Complain to the parents, complain to the teachers. That also works in case the bully is not an habitual bully. So do one of those things and you should be able to solve it. Ishita?
Working parents are having difficult time preventing children from getting addicted to mobiles and internet, watching incorrect channels. How do we solve this and tackle this issue?
I have created a product which is called 7 Proven Ways to Conquer Digital Addiction. If you want, I will share the link with Ishita. Ishita in turn can share that link with all the parents.
Definitely.
It's a paid program. It is costing about 249 rupees. It's a 1 hour, 15-minute program where we discuss about 7 extraordinary ways by which parents can ensure that children come out of digital addiction and definitely not fall into the trap of digital addiction. So I will share that link with Ishita and I request you to have a look at it and go through it.
Thank you. Thank you. Moreover, how do we make children emotionally stronger in the current world?
When you say emotionally stronger, I would like to know what do you mean by that? If the child is emotional and cries every now and then, I think that is okay as long as the child does not stay disturbed for a long time. And depending on the age group of the child, depending on the gender of the child, I'll be able to give you answers. So, like I said, that emotional intelligence part, where we do so many things to ensure that my child does not fall prey to anger, does not fall prey to abuse, does not fall prey to fear. A lot of answers are there in that emotional intelligence bucket, request you to download the app and have a look at it. Since I don't know the details required, all I can say is please download the app and have a look at the videos. Ishita?
There's another question.
Yeah.
The children are being taught about the reproductive system in grade 8.
Yes.
So is this the right time to talk to them about sex?
Absolutely. I think it's a very beautiful time and a brilliant time to talk about sex with children. Ishita, is it okay if I take about 4 or 5 minutes to give an answer to this?
Absolutely. Please go ahead.
Okay. Pornography and sex. These are almost related topics and they need to be discussed, ideally by the parents with the children. If not the parents, the only good substitute would be an elder brother, an elder sister, or a sister-in-law. I would recommend the parents. And I would give you a few bullet points today. Again, this is a very, very big topic. Again, there are a lot of videos in the Wow Parenting app. But because it's a crucial topic, I don't want to pass it. And I will give you some answers. First of all, tell the children, sex is a very natural phenomenon. Sex is not what they show in movies, nor it is something that is shown in pornography. Sex is something which he has designed. There is nothing to be ashamed about. There is nothing to hide. And there is nothing scandalous about the whole thing. At the right time, with the right person, when I want to recreate another life in the world, I have the ability to reproduce, and for that, the tool which is used is sex. Which means we don't see sex as an entertainment per se, and we definitely don't see sex as something very sleazy. We also tell the children, as you are growing up and as you are 12, 13, 14, 15, and as your body changes, nature ensures that there is a surge of hormones. And as there is this surge of hormones, we will feel attracted to the opposite gender. Again, no need to feel shame about it. It's a very natural thing to do. But do not do something which you will regret later on. What do I mean by that? Anything which is done which is disrespectful to the other person is wrong. Very simple definition. I will do nothing which will make the other person feel disrespected. The way I am very hungry, but I don't pick up things from a stall unless I have paid for it. Similarly, I do not think about another person with wrong intentions because they are not mine to have. The food belongs to somebody else, they own that food, and if it is not mine, I can't have it. The temptation would be there, but deal with it with a smile and understand nature is playing its role. So there is nothing wrong in having the urge, but there is everything wrong to give in to that urge. The urge is natural, and to control that is human. This is how you discuss about sex with people at home. About pornography, you tell them there are a few things which is naturally wrong about pornography, and we understand the urge for pornography. So if somebody has an urge for pornography, it is natural. But again, giving in to pornography will make you fall down in your own eyes. Point number one, what they show in pornography never happens in real life. Everything that they show over there is being done by actors. The way in a movie like Dabangg, Salman Khan can just do like this and 50 villains can go flying in all directions. You and me both know in real life something like this does not happen. Similarly, what they show over there does not happen in real life. And if you become addicted to pornography, your expectation from people will always be unfulfilled. You will not be able to have good relationships with people. Second, if I become a victim to pornography and I do that consistently, I will start objectifying people. Anybody I meet, I would only look for certain body parts as attractive features. I will miss out on the goodness of a human being inside that person. There can be a person who's very creative. There is a person who's very kind. There is a person who can solve complicated things. There is a person who can take a lot of initiatives. There is a person who can forgive and move on. There is a person who can help others even when help is not asked. These beautiful things are inside a human being. I will miss out all this, which actually leads to a good life. Because I am searching for some particular body parts to be in some particular places, in some particular way. I understand you go for pornography because there is a sexual release that you require. But what you miss out in the process is great relationships, great bonding. That is why some people in the world who are ignorant will say a man and woman cannot have a good relationship. Because for them, the reality is that kind of life. And yet, if you look into the world, I personally know of so many beautiful people. When I say beautiful, I'm speaking about the heart, not the body, not the surface, but what is inside. Gender is not important. Gender is not important at all. What is important is the quality that somebody brings to the table. And that becomes the final point. There will be a girl in the class who's very smart, who asks smart questions. If you are a boy, you won't be able to relate to her platonically. If you are near her, you will only think about sex and sensuality and let's say the breast and the bumps, and you will miss out on so much that you can learn from her. She might have a method of learning which helps her to focus and remember and reproduce on the paper. You will miss out on all that because you are being guided or misguided by these things. So now you have to make a choice. What do you actually want from people in life? If you have this kind of a conversation, a very honest, keeping on reminding them the urge is natural, the urge is natural. Don't make them feel guilty because of the urge. There is a devil inside every human being. And it is for the human in us to ensure that the devil is always in control. You appeal to the human to control the devil. You don't identify the devil and say it's wrong for you to have these urges. So it's a very, very critical area, but you and me have to handle it properly so that our children are guided and tomorrow nobody can take these children off track. So yes, it's a critical area, and I appeal to each parent over here to have this conversation with your children and have it very matter of fact. I mean, a boy, a girl, father, mother, all are sitting inside the drawing room and have this conversation. It need not even be mother to daughter, father to son, because we are not talking about genders per se. We are talking about an urge of human life. The more you can make it matter of fact and casual, the deeper the conversation will go. The more you yourself are scandalized. Let's say I as a father, I say, Baba, I can't talk to my daughter about these. Why not? Why not? She trusts you. And if you can talk to her properly, why not? So have these conversations bindas with your children. You must have it. Because if you don't, then some misguided friend will misguide them, or they will go to the internet, and this kind of a solution is not there in the internet for them. So please do it. Ishita?
May I? How many more questions will you take? Can I ask you two more?
Yes, please. Please go ahead.
Okay. Now, this question is from a parent who says that the child does not believe in any religion because at home, the parents have two different religious beliefs.
Fair enough.
So how should we handle the situation?
Oh, it's very beautiful. It's very simple. In the first book that I wrote, which is called Keep Moving, I had a chapter over there which was called Religion is a Mother. Ishita, your parents are there?
Yes.
Where do they stay?
My parents?
Yeah?
Are you talking about my personal
Yes.
parents? No, my parents are no longer there.
They are no longer there. Okay, let's imagine we have met 20 years ago and we were college friends. Then would I meet your parents?
Yes, you would.
Right. So let's say Ishita invites me home.
Yeah.
Now, when I go to Ishita's home, what will I do? I will bow down and I will touch Ishita's mother's feet. I will take her blessings. She will bless me. You are a very nice guy. I'm so great. I'm so glad Ishita is a good friend in you. She speaks good things about you. And she will pamper me when I am there at her home. अरे बेटा ये भी खाओ. I'll tell अरे नहीं आंटी पेट भर गया है. क्या बेटा तुम्हारी तो पूरी जिंदगी तुम्हारे सामने है. तुम लोग जवान लोग हो. तुम लोग नहीं खाओगे तो क्या होगा? And she will pamper me. I will come back home and I'll tell my mother, आज ईशिता के घर गया था, आंटी ने इतना प्यार दिया, घर में इतना अपनापन लगा. मगर अगर ईशिता अगर नहीं भी होना, हो गई लंदन, पेरिस, यूएस शिफ्ट हो गई ना, मैं तो फिर भी उसके घर जाएगा, मम्मी का आशीर्वाद लूंगा और मम्मी के हाथ का खाना बना हुआ जरूर खा के आऊं. Now what does this mean? The way my mother took care of me, probably no other mother can. She fed me her breast milk, right? And all mothers would say every now and then, if the child is hungry, they will even bite the breast. She will go through that pain to bring me up. If I have my exam, she will wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to make bonvita for me and go back to sleep. If I am sick, she will wake up 4 times in the night to ensure that I don't have fever. And if I have fever, put that patti over here or give me medicine. The way my mother took care of me, nobody else in the world will. But when I go to Ishita's house, her mother can also take care of me very beautifully that day, that moment. Religion is like a mother. The way Ishita's mother has taken care of her, nobody else can take care of Ishita that way. My mother cannot take care of Ishita the way Ishita's mother has taken care of her. Which means, whatever be my religion is my mother. My religion has taken care of me very beautifully. But when I go to another religion, there are enough things which is nourishing. In Islam, they say, if you want to go to heaven or you want to experience heaven, search for it below the feet of your mother. मतलब सेवा करो उसकी. In Christianity, Jesus says, love thy neighbor the way you love yourself. In Hinduism, they say, कोई तुम्हारा दुश्मन नहीं है. ये तो उसकी इच्छा है और कोई ना कोई निमित्त बन के आता है. तो इंसानों से घृणा मत करो, उनसे सीखो. और ये सब ईश्वर की लीला है. Now, every religion has beautiful things to say. I will teach my child the beautiful things in every religion, which will make him a good human being. Whether he follows Hinduism or he becomes a Buddhist or he follows Islam or he follows Christianity, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. As long as he is a good human being, my purpose is served. So don't bother about which religion he follows. Talk to him about how religion helps a human being to be a good human being. You would have done your part. Ishita?
The last question. In the present COVID-19 situation, where parents are at home facing many critical situations, difficult situations, locked up in the house, frustrated, pay cuts, job losses, how do they manage their own anger and not take out their frustration on the child?
Okay. Very beautiful and an extremely relevant question. First, I will give you a good news, then I will also give you a suggestion. Good news is I'm about to create a small series of 3 videos or 4 videos on how do I handle stress and anxiety in these times, especially with what has happened to Sushant Rajput. That's, of course, a very extreme case. But because we talk to parents and principals and children so much, we know that there is that uncomfortable environment right now in most homes. So the moment we create that entire program, it's a free program. I will share the registration link with Ishita, who in turn will share it with the parents. Ishita, I'm sorry, but I'll be sharing some links with you now and then.
It will be our pleasure.
And then you guys can register over there and come for that webinar and enjoy the webinar. But for the time being, if you can take breaks and in that break create happy moments, you will not carry over the pressure of 9 o'clock to 7 o'clock. What do I mean by that? Psychologists in US practice something called the 50-minute hour. What do I mean by a 50-minute hour? Now imagine Manjari Srivastav, my friend over here, is a psychologist, and I go to her for counseling. My time is 6 o'clock and I have a 1 hour appointment. The next appointment will be at 7 o'clock. But 6:50, Manjari will close the meeting saying your time is up. Though I have a 1 hour appointment, I am given only 50 minutes and not the 10 minutes. The idea behind that is 50 minutes is done, the patient is told bye-bye, then she will make the notes, file those notes, and maybe take a break, eat some chocolates, call her children, just stretch herself, check on social media, relax herself in 5-7 minutes. And 5-7 minutes is more than enough to relax. Like me and my daughter present over here who has that icon called Wow Parenting, for us the break is music. So that's why when we were waiting for the other parents to join, I asked Ishita, can I play some good music? 2, 3, 5 minutes of good music, and now I'm energized. Now the earlier work is not a carryover in the next work. Take these breaks, and in these breaks, come back to neutral. Fill yourself with joy. Do masti, pull somebody's leg, eat something. Like the other thing which always puts me in the right frame of mind is eating. Bourbon biscuits is my sin. If anybody wants to patao me, you don't have to bring biscuits from Switzerland and give to me. Bourbon biscuit packet, and whatever be my mood, I am on top of the world again. Any one of you love bourbon biscuit like me? So Ishita, whenever I come to school, now what you have to arrange for me.
Sure. Easy to arrange.
Easy to arrange. No, I have simple needs. So, I eat one bourbon biscuit, and when I am eating a bourbon biscuit, I'm not talking to anybody. I'm taking that one bite. मतलब भगवान ने क्या चीज बनाया है यार, bourbon biscuit. मतलब कमाल हो गया. I'm talking to myself and enjoying every gram of that biscuit. It takes about 3-4 minutes to eat one biscuit, but at the end of it, I'm ready to take the whole world head on. So don't keep piling up things over here. Don't do things back to back. Take these small breaks. And in these breaks, you will find you won't have that overwhelming feeling. And by the time it is 7 o'clock, what you are carrying over is only work from 6 to 6:45 or 6 to 6:50. That is easy to handle. So divide your work day into small parts. And in that part, have a lot of fun. Like I enjoy teasing people at office. So whenever my work is done, I will go and tease my daughter. I'll go and tease my colleagues. I will do something for 4-5 minutes and then come and sit back to work. So 50-minute hour as a concept will work brilliantly well for you. Now, that does not mean 50 minutes is 50 minutes by the clock or by the watch. It can be 1 hour, 20 minutes. It can be 30 minutes also, depending on what you're doing. The concept is called 50-minute hour. Ishita?
Do you want to take more questions, or shall we call it a day?
I think we can call it a day. This being Sunday, my wife is also waiting for me at home, and I'm doing this from office because the broadband is much better at office. But I will come back again to take all the questions which comes. I loved being with all of you today, and I only wish and pray that it was worth your time. So if you don't mind, Ishita, we will close.
It was. Okay. Manjari Miss, if you can unmute.
Yes. Thank you.
Somebody else said my question, last one, please.
Okay, go ahead. Jitendra Ahire. Please go ahead.
Jitendra Ahire, I have to just check his question.
I found this question. My child learning in first division online classes, his interest is very high at the time of 1-2 period, but it almost ends up even start of the 5th period. How do I make him so interested in learning till the 5th period? Jitendra Bhai, your child is so small. Your child is 5 years old. If the child is focused for 2 periods, it's an achievement. And if you can give these small breaks to the child, sit next to the child, take it easy. See, in online training, the child also feels isolated. This is not the ideal thing for the child to focus on. Even if the child is taking 30, 40, 50, 60%, it's a good thing which is happening. And of course, if you want the child to stay focused, you sit with the child. Finally, just to make you happy, there is another thing that you can do. Tell your child, whatever has been taught to you in school, I have forgotten when I was in school. So can you teach me what the teachers taught to you today? Now the child will learn not to learn, but the child will learn to teach. Now this will be successful, Jitendra, if you have a good relationship with your child. If you can pretend to be a student in front of your child and the child takes pride in teaching the father, and if you can make exaggerated emotional faces like, wow, oh my God, this is what is taught. This is too interesting. This was not there in my school at all. Yeah, your school is so much better. Your teacher taught this to you. My teacher did not teach me. Yeah, your teachers are too good. I did not have these kind of teachers. You do this play acting and the child will giggle. The child will have so much fun. The child will say, "Arey wow, mera papa ka school to bada buddhu school tha." And now when the child learns with a sense of pride. Which means you will have to create some time to interact with your children. There is no tool in the world by which a 5-year-old child will get motivated to study by a pep talk. But this thing will definitely create a little extra motivation in your child. Ishita?
Thank you so much. Manjari Miss, over to you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Wow, sir, once again. It is really the right app you have named, Wow Parenting. I think I can see almost all the parents are glued up. Still 135 is there. And all are listening attentively, whatever you have given, the suggestions and your views on parenting. Rather, it took me back.
Yeah.
I was in my flashback. I have only one son. So how we used to talk, me and my husband. So all that was coming into my head. And today, though he's working, he's employed, but still we make it a point that we have one family outing. And there we discuss what we want.
Beautiful. Brilliant.
So this is how will help the parents who are coming up, the 1 year, like Mr. Jitendra was saying, how to bring. Talking, communication is very, very important, which you are giving emphasis in your program. And today I was watching one video where Anupam Kher was talking to Akshay Kumar. And he mentioned there, I just wanted to say, So that his grandfather, Anupam's grandfather, has written a line to him, to his grandson. जो भीगा है उसे बारिश से डर नहीं लगता. That means a person who has gone through all that knows how to go and deal. Brilliant. All the parents have come up. They have gone through the schools. They have learned from their teachers. They know how their parents have brought them up. The same way they can do. And the way you have dealt, sir, it is really very, very motivating again, I will say. And I can vouch on all parents. It must be very inspiring to all the parents too. Thank you so much for all the time you have given to us, to all the parents. And thank you all the parents also. You also came out and used your this 1.5 hours listening and discussing your ideas, views, whatever you wanted. Once again, Mr. Narendra Goidani, thank you from the bottom of our heart. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. And let's hope sometime when things are better, we can invite you to our school.
Yes,
definitely.
Yes.
It will be an honor to come there. Thank you so much.
Things are normal.
Yes. Absolutely.
Thank you. God bless you. Have a great evening.
Thanks, Atan. Thanks.
Thank you so much,
Bye-bye.
sir. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Maybe leave and close the meeting now.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Thanks.